Hey guys, and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. In this video today, we are talking ModRetro's M64, which is their take on an FPGA Nintendo 64. We know the developer behind this is Robert Pape, the same person that developed the core for the MiSTerFPGA, but couldn't fully complete it due to the limitations of the DE10 Nano, the heart and soul of the MiSTer project. They went on to work with ModRetro in bringing the core over to the M64. Now, let's have a look at this video from Christopher Adams. They've posted this over on X. It looks like a short, maybe they do TikTok stuff as well, but I found this on X. Now, I found a video from them or a post from them on X a couple of days ago where they just peeled off the plastic off the M64. You know, when you get something new, you got the plastic, you pull it off. But this post here is definitely more interesting. And I personally feel like they are having a dig at analog. In fact, I am 100% sure of it because they're showing stuff like what you're seeing on screen there, like Wi-Fi, like the Wi-Fi named Death Star. And they're saying that you can do firmware updates over the air without having to put an SD card. It's definitely an indirect, or is it a direct dig? No, indirect dig at analog for not providing that feature. But then you have to ask yourself, how much Nintendo 64 can we possibly play? Now, I did enjoy dipping back into the Nintendo 64, especially when we started getting the core for the MiSTerFPGA. I recently-ish got the Analog 3D, and I have to say, hands down, it is, in my opinion, the best way you can currently experience and play the Nintendo 64. It remains to be seen exactly how the M64 core will perform. Will it be as good as, better, or worse than what the Analog 3D experience is? But Analog are already out there, guys. They're already on the market. They've released the normal colors. They've rushed out, I've said that, this is my opinion, that they've rushed out those limited edition, not just one wave of them, but two waves of limited edition, because here there is another new challenger on the horizon, ModRetro. They're cheaper. They're going to have part of it open. It sounds like they're going to have additional cores, and it may become an Analog 3D killer. It's like if you have both things there, which one would you buy? This one's cheaper. I have other cores for it, so maybe you're going to go for that. So Analog have gone full blown out, and it looks like the M64 are taking digs at it. Now, we don't know when the M64 is going to be out. They said a few months away. That could be 1 month from now. That could be 3 months from now. That could be 6 months from now. And you know what? Over a year, that's 12 months. I don't think it'll be over a year, but hey, it could be 15 months. But it could be a year and a quarter, right? It's just it's like, how long is a piece of string? So we don't know when this is going to be out, and I don't know how much lead Analog are going to gain on these guys. Currently, I haven't actually checked in the last couple of days, but the most recent prototype limited edition colors, they weren't sold out last time I checked them. Maybe you can still buy them, but I ask myself, are there going to be so many Analog 3Ds out there that people are going to think, well, we don't really need the M64? I guess time will tell. But let's have a look at this tweet from Christopher. So Christopher here says, let's plug in the M64 and check out the menus for the first time. I have been dying to take a look under the hood of this thing. First things first, is there a firmware update and how easy is it done? And this is definitely where I think they are having a little dig at Analog. So let's pause this one and let's bring up the actual video and see what the guy says. So I'm going to go quiet, but we'll pause it and we'll talk about like the features that I mentioned.
All right, so this is an M64. We're gonna plug this thing into my monitor and boot it up for the very first time and see exactly what it does. All right, we got HDMI, USB-C power. Also, I just wanna point out that M64 emblem in there on the board is a beautiful touch. All right.
I have to say that I do like that transparent shell and how you can see inside it. It does look nice from an aesthetic kind of see-through point, but I like transparent stuff.
Now, just for fun, because it's my wife's favorite game, we're gonna pop in a copy of Tetris Sphere and see what happens. Okay, here we go. Also, I should point out that this eject is really something else.
Okay, so is that the eject kind of switch at the back? I think it is. You pop it and it pops out. I wonder how much you can make it fly, but Christopher likes it.
I will say it looks great. Okay, but I'm actually really curious about this guy here. So let's try pressing that.
Okay, so you press that and a menu comes up, full controllers. I have to say that's interesting. And I have seen this bit before. And yeah, that little round thing there on the right, it's interesting. The functionality is very interesting.
Okay, what do we got here? If I scroll, let's set up Wi-Fi. Available networks. Of course, my Wi-Fi is called the Death Star.
For the record, I have 2 Wi-Fi hotspots. The 5 gigahertz one is called the Empire Strikes Back, and you can understand why. The 2 gigahertz one is called RoboCop 2.
Yeah, I'm not gonna show you my Wi-Fi password. Also, you could totally do this with the controller. I just wanted to use that dial.
See that dial there, I have to say that's really, really cool. Let's dial it back so we can see it. Look at that, guys. That's really cool. So you can go in the menu, you can rotate it left and right to go through menu options. You push it down to make a selection. That's kind of neat. So no controller required if you just turn your machine on, and you can go into settings. I mean, you could just plug in a controller, but hey, it's cool to see that. I do like that.
Also, you could totally do this with the controller. I just wanted to use that dial. All right, enter. And just like that, we are connected to Death Star. Oh, software versions, and we can check for a software update. We're gonna do that. Checking for updates. Oh, look at that, update available. Install update. We're just going to go ahead and do that, and we're updating. I've never done this before. This is actually the first time I've gone through these menus. And I have to tell you that updating the firmware on this device right out of the box over Wi-Fi is, I don't have to do any transferring on an SD card or a jump drive.
That's definitely a dig at Analog. So not exactly direct, but it's something where Analog said you'd have Wi-Fi. I think they promised like over-the-air updates as well. You would presume to get that with Wi-Fi, and these guys have done it. And it's saying you don't have to go in via an SD card, which is one of the ways you update your Analog 3D. So interesting. I like seeing all this stuff. I mean, Analog don't really have this kind of presence. They don't really say this kind of stuff. They'll just release limited editions. But what's really interesting is some people have said, we hate Analog's business practices. We feel burnt with the limited editions they've released, and we don't like their radio silence. We don't like their business practices. We're boycotting them, and we're going to M64. And the really funny thing is, we got lots of people that say, we hate the owner of the M64. The guy's a bad guy. We are not backing this up. We're sticking with the Analog 3D. So it's almost like console wars are back with someone sells machines that actually take part in wars. It's kind of surreal and interesting, and this is the Nintendo 64. But yeah, I mean, there's two camps, and there's some people that really don't care. Over here on the Pixel Cherry Ninja publications, if it's news, if it's FPGA gaming especially, we will cover it.
Or anything. I just hooked to my Wi-Fi, and we got an update going. Check it out. The light on top as well is cycling through as it's updating.
All right, you know what? I know that light thing. If you can see, I couldn't really see it that well there, but it kind of reminds me of Knight Rider, like your M64's like your kit or something. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's little things like that, but I like that. It's nice seeing that. And then when that light stops, you think, is my firmware update done? It's a small thing, but it's geeky. But hey, I like that kind of stuff.
I like that a lot. That was almost too easy. Well, there's...
I'll be honest with you there, Christopher. I wouldn't expect it to be difficult. Like too easy, you just, you go on there. These stuff are made to be there for users, right? It's gonna be easy. And I'll be honest with you, updating the Analog, it wasn't difficult either. You copy a file onto an SD card, I'm pretty sure you've done that, and you stick it in the back and you turn it on, and it pretty much does everything by itself. It really isn't that difficult. When we're talking about difficulty scales, your one might be a 0 and the Analog one might be 0.5.
Only one thing left to do, sync my wireless controller. I mean, since I am using this monitor, should probably run it in 4K.
Okay, so nice. We've got 720p, 1080p, and 4K. Now, I like the mention of the wireless controller, because I remember in a recent update from ModRetro, they said the controller, the wireless controller, the Trident or whatever it's called, won't be available at launch with it. It'll be available down the line. So I wonder what you're going to play with originally. An original N64 controller. Hopefully you can just connect random Bluetooth controllers to it. I would like to connect the NSO controller to it, the Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo 64 controller. That one really has become my favorite for playing anything N64.
And I guess just get to playing some Tetris Sphere. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I gotta be honest with you, I never thought I would be playing a 64 that can do Wi-Fi firmware updates right out of the box. The 16-year-old me's head is exploding.
Okay, so that was that. I don't know what you guys think. But yes, definitely looking interesting for the Nintendo 64 up ahead. Nintendo 64 is getting a lot of love, and As much as I like the console, it's not one of my favorite ones to play in this day and age. I mean, I like streaming it, I like having a little dig on it, but hey, more importantly, a lot of you guys out there like it. The Unlock 3D has proven a success. There's a lot of interest in ModRetro's M64, and ModRetro, it looks like they're here to stay, right? They started with the chromatic, their take on a Game Boy Color. They've moved on to Nintendo 64, so it'll be interesting to see where they kind of go next. And what else will be interesting to see if Analog in the meantime release like another wave of some kind of limited editions. Analog, if you are watching this video, bring back that damn Analog Pocket. Everyone keeps asking about it and it's just not out there. But guys, that was it. What do you guys think of the M64? Love it, hate it, whatever, let me know down below. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.